How's it going, everybody? And how's it going, my slow bros and ho-ohs? I hope you're all doing well. Today, we're going to talk about how CetchumAllCollectibles is committing fraud by intentionally altering and resubmitting cards to grading companies. Why? Well, because money, that's why. And just like Bill Mastro, I hope this guy and his goons go to jail. Now, please note that the next few clips are to provide examples of CetchumAllCollectibles' opinions on altering cards, and we're going to build up to the alterations so that the full context and Dan's intentions are understood.
Say you own a 52 mantle that's just in your binder and it has a really rough edge. If you want to cut the edge off that and put it in your binder, that's fine. It's your card. Do what you want with it. If you want to fold it in half, if you want to sign it yourself, if you want to get somebody to sign your card, whatever. Like, it's your property. Do what you want with it. I'm very much like, on your own stuff, do whatever. But the second that you start grading it, trying to increase the value by deception. So Basic actually says, and there's some disagreement here, no different in deep cleaning a used car to make it look better to sell, non-issues. I agree with that. Like, yeah, if you, I mean, when you buff out a scratch, when you clean it up, when you pull out the floor mats, vacuum it all out, like, you're prettying the thing up to make it more visually appealing. You're intentionally dolling up the appearance of it to get more money. You're trying to get more money out of people. Mm-hmm. And Robert Schaefer doesn't agree. Retro agrees. If the experts can't detect it, it is what it is. Like, I say the experts kind of sarcastically. And if and when sitting cutie grading becomes a thing, can you trim a stitch off a sitting cutie and then grade it? Can you? I slightly modified the Charizard that I had that I sent in to PSA. I cracked it from I sent it to CGC. I cracked it from CGC PSA. It almost looked like it had a bit of ink on it. I scratched the ink off. I traded ink for whitening. I kind of like slightly damaged the card, and to make it look visually better, to improve the grade.
So right away, you can tell that Basic Trainer, Old School Pokemon, and CetchumAllCollectibles are trying to normalize altering cards. Now, card altering has plagued the sports card world for decades, causing the FBI to get involved. So it's no joke, especially when you're trying to deceive grading companies and potential buyers about the true condition and value of a card. Let's go ahead and get into the live stream where Dan alters the card.
We'll do it live. Ooh, that was nice. That was clean. Yeah.
Or if I hear Dan scream, I'll know something's.
Your reaction's gonna be very delayed or non-existent, but she's free.
Yeah.
Probably can't. You can't even see what I'm doing. Problem is, it's like either I can see or you can see. I can't really show stream. I'm trying to scratch this black off. I'm scratching it with my nail. I think it kind of went away. I don't really feel too nervous about touching it with my bare hands, but it's still got that little speck, that little black speck.
Yeah, and if you happen to leave stream, then you can watch the recap on Rattle Pokemon when Dan gets labeled as a card alter.
Oh God, I probably will. So here's what, like, I'm gonna use the back end of my screwdriver because it's kind of rounded. Like, through the card saver, you just kind of like rub it, and I think you can like flatten out that little bit of a lip. And again, it's not adding, it's not taking away. To me, that's like fair play. But it doesn't seem to be ink either, so I don't know what's going on. It's just annoying me. I think I've taken it off and on the screen like 10 times now, but you've probably gotten a little bit of a glimpse at it. I believe it's gone now. Because I just turned the white... Yeah, I just made the whitening a lot worse, but it's gone. So I think we made money. I got 7s that look so much worse than that. So is the play PSA now? If I send it to PSA... If I send it to PSA, someone's going to send PSA this video. There's probably someone who works at PSA watching this. They're probably going to give me a 2. But it's like, give me the 1. I don't care. I'll break even. Mason, I'm not polishing. I'm not buffing. I'm just
altering.
scraping corners, creating whitening.
Did you pay attention to how he keeps raising the bar to justify his actions? And in the meantime, he's joking around about potentially being caught by Rattle, which they all know that Rattle's less likely to report on him because he's friends with Gary. And that's how this whole community acts. And after joking around about how he's going to get a PSA 1 or a PSA 7, Dan decides to grade it with CGC and gets a 6. Now, Dan claims that he has no plans on selling the card, which if were true, then why'd he have the card graded in the first place? After all, Dan says he's a raw card collector.
I honestly don't know fully where I fall on it. I'm more and more the whole grading thing. I'm a raw collector anyways. I'm a raw. I sell slabs.
So you heard it. His plan is to sell it. Now, in addition to Dan liking it raw, things become more suspicious after Dan claims that if he were to ever sell the card, he would disclose the alteration in the same way he discloses his regraded cards, meaning he mentions it once in a YouTube video and says nothing about it in the eBay listings.
If you do it and then you grade it and the graders can't detect it, who I am, if I ever did it, which I'm not intending to, I'm not planning to, none of the cards that I'm selling, I've done this to or have had this done to them, I would at minimum disclose it. Like I would say, hey, I show it on my channel now. I crack out a PSA 9 on video and then I send it back to PSA. If and when it hits the 10, I literally show you the PSA 10 with the PSA 9 labeled next to it. And then I put it into my store for PSA 10 prices.
So I'm not quite sure if he only does this for PSA 10s or not, but I checked some other listings of cards that he had regraded, and there's nothing about them being cracked and regraded in the eBay listings. But the takeaway here is that CetchumAllCollectibles, Old School Pokemon, Basic Trainer, and the rest of Gary's goons should never be trusted, nor should you ever buy anything from them, as these guys are willing to say anything, do anything, to make a sale, and they don't care who they screw over in the process. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you're not subscribed, please take a second and do so now, because my dying channel could really use the help, and don't forget to hit the bell for all notifications. But as always, I will catch all of you slow bros and ho-ohs later. Bye.
I don't pay PSA 9 premiums. I don't pay PSA 10 premiums. I'm never going to be damaged by this. I don't care what someone does with their card. It's when they start, the intent to deceive and get more money from it is where it becomes criminal and it becomes wrong. So I think we made money.